how are you enjoying Shadowlands Mage so far? Here's my thing, right? Like, I'm playing Fire on live, all right? Actually, let's just... All right, so I'm playing Fire on live. And on Fire on live, if I want to burst someone really hard without combust, I can throw out a Meteor, Reaping, and a Claw, and just say like 2 Fire Blasts and a Pyro. Okay, that's no cooldowns necessarily, or well, I guess it's Claw, it's Meteor, like some minor cooldowns, right? And for all of that, I can take someone from like 100% to 50% in 2 seconds, right? Now, on the beta, if I try to do that same thing, I log on to beta, and I don't have Reaping, because there's no more Essences. So I don't have Breath of the Dying, right? I don't have Reaping. And I have Phoenix Flames instead. So instead of 1 button that does 20% of someone's life, I have 3 buttons that do nothing, pretty much, unless I'm combusted. And then instead of a trinket that just completely sucks the life out of someone, I don't have that. All right, and then instead of Temp Shield, I don't have that. I just feel like BFA Mage is just a little more fun than Shadowlands. I don't think Shadowlands is like shit, but from playing both, I just think BFA is just a little, it feels smoother, it feels better overall. Having a Reaping makes Mage fun. Having a burst ability, 20% of someone's life on a larger cooldown, but you have to use it at certain times, is fun. Like, Reaping is a fun ability, and it's gone. Claw is a fun trinket to press, and it's gone. GPI, you know, we don't even have to talk about GPI, like, 'cause I don't even really use GPI in Arena that much, or like no one really does anymore, unless you're playing MLD. But that kind of sucks. Losing Temp Shield kind of sucks. There's just a lot of things that kind of suck. Having said that, I mean, you have Alter Time, which is kind of like a Temp Shield, and you have a new ability, Mirrors of Torment, which is okay, but it's a cast. If Mirrors of Torment was instant cast on a 45-second cooldown, that'd be dope. If Mirrors of Torment was instant cast on a 45-second cooldown, but if that was the case, they'd have to like nerf or buff the other ones too. I guess I just feel like if I'm playing right now on a Mage in Shadowlands, and I'm playing right now on a Mage in BFA, every time I'm giggling, one-shotting, and 1v2ing and having more fun on the BFA version of Mage than I am on Shadowlands Mage. On Shadowlands Mage, it's less bursty, because Phoenix Flames is just tickle damage. And then Mirrors of Torment, it just more, it feels like WoD Fire Mage. And I didn't like WoD Fire Mage. It really does feel like WoD Fire Mage. This guy wants to duel, and rogues are fucking broken. And then I was trying to figure out a Frost spec that worked. This motherfucker. Look at my life, dude. What the fuck was that? So if you guys didn't know, rogues are like like bugged or something on the beta. I did all that damage. Nothing actually happened to his life bar. Oh, that's cool. I just combusted him and he's full life. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's just a bug. I can't necessarily rate the beta on a bug, right? That would be unfair of me to be like, oh, beta sucks because rogues are bugged, but I don't know. So overall though, after queuing a little bit, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I think BFA is a little better. I get a lot of hate for that. Oh, you think BFA's better, bro? Like, oh, fuck you, man. Like, oh, BFA's that wah. Like, people just have to, like, take off their rose-tinted goggles and, like, look at it with a clear head. If you just compare the two, I think BFA seems a little better. But it's a beta. A lot can change. I think the one ability we got is, like, Arcane Explosion. Like, a lot of other classes got, like, I guess we got Alter Time, but we lost Temp Shield. So I don't even think we gained Alter. We just lost Temp and gained Alter, so it's like a 50-50 trade. So we got, like, Arcane Explosion, but we lost Reaping Flames, G-Pie, Temp, Claw. No, you know. So yeah, I do think if you take off the rose-tinted goggles and you look at BFA for what it is, I think BFA is objectively a little better right now for Mage. Yeah, that's a long answer. No G-Pie in Shadowlands. You do have it. It's just 15-second cooldown. Hey, so what up, Jesse? How's it going, man? How about Arcane? It looks really good. So I've tested Arcane, Frost, and Fire. I think... Actually, I don't know what the best is. Maybe Arcane's actually the best of the three right now, to be honest. I think Arcane might be the best. With Frost... I just DC'd. With Frost, you can do this Ice Lance build where you're just spamming Ice Lance, and it's actually pretty decent. Arcane is Temp and Alter. Yeah, I think Arcane might be the best spec right now for the beta. If they adjust the numbers so you do sufficient burst, I think you'll have fun. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about how much can I burst. As a mage, the question usually is, how much can I burst? If I can burst heavily, I'm usually having fun. If I cannot burst, meaning, like, my definition of burst means I can kill someone 100-0 in 5 or less seconds solo if I use every offensive cooldown and they don't use any defensive cooldown. That's my definition of burst. So if I can burst as a mage, I'm happy. And if I cannot burst as a mage, I'm sad. Very basic need or want there. But that's broken. If you think that's broken, then you don't fundamentally understand the game. Why should you be able to do that? I hope you're trolling, man. That's what every spec can and should do, though. Yeah, no, exactly. Yep. It makes no sense. All right. I'll just write it out for you real quick. So, the definition of burst. Okay. The definition of burst equals being able to 100-0 someone in 5 seconds or less with every single offensive cooldown. If they don't use a single defensive cooldown. I hope there'd be no one that disagrees with this. And that I think mages should have burst. That's it. This. If the expansion has this, I'm happy. That is all I care about. This is it. I don't care about gear. I don't care about anything besides this. If the expansion has this, I think it can be a good expansion. If the expansion does not have this, it's just not fun for me. Why? Because I can't 1v2 if this doesn't exist. And I can't 1v1 if this doesn't exist. I play the game for 1v2s and 1v1s. I play the game for burst. I play the game for big one-shots. If I can't do it, I'd rather not play, right? So this is all the game needs. This is all the game needs. Fall back on the Spreesty boy. True. True. PvP is fun when you can do this. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. So for anyone that I don't see anyone disagreeing in the chat. I think everyone is pretty much on the same page, so this should exist. But if anyone does disagree, think about it in this instance. Think about the opposite. Think about popping every single offensive CD, and the enemy is AFK, and you don't kill them in 5 seconds or less. This would happen. And in WoD, this did happen, and that's why I quit WoD. The only expansion this has ever been the case is WoD, and that's why I think WoD was the worst expansion we've ever seen. Oh, but dude, BFA is way worse. No, dude, BFA, we can at least burst. Yes, gear sucks, but we can at least burst. In WoD, I could pop every fucking cooldown, and the guy would be AFK, and I still couldn't kill him. That was the worst thing, man. I fucking hated WoD. There's way too much hate for BFA. So people hate on BFA for, you know, BFA hate is literally gear acquisition, like getting gear, corruptions, essences. Like, this is why people hate on it, right? It just takes too long. I think this is like the majority of the hate, right? I'm trying to think, what do people hate about BFA? Gear, corruptions, and essences, right? What else do people hate on? This is like 90% of it, probably. So here's another thing. Yo, Frocky, thanks for the 1 year sub, man. Hell yes, in the chat. Give him some love. So here's the other thing, right? So it's an MMO, right? So if you're thinking about it, like, the question is, it's a very interesting question. Yo, Nova Bubs, thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it, dude. How long should full gear take? This is a very, like, fundamental design question that I'm sure people at Blizzard talk about, right? All the time. How long should it take to get a character full geared? 1 day? No. Too short. You know, like, everyone would say no. Everyone, okay, not everyone. 90% of people would say no, dude. It's an MMO. It needs to be longer than a day. Like, I want to put time in and progress my character and be geared than the motherfucker that just logged in. I want to one-shot the guy that just logged in because I'm more geared because I'm a no-life that put time into the game, right? 1 day, no. 1 week, most people would still say no. Like, if I put a bunch of time into the game, full gear, 1 week is a little too long. Or short, rather, right? You want there to be this progression in an MMO, right? So the question is, how long? And I think a lot of people would probably say 3 to 5 weeks is maybe what, like, the majority would say. And right now, it takes like 8 to 12 weeks to get full gear. Probably. I'd say maybe most people would say 4 to 5 weeks. Because the thing is, if it's too quick, then getting gear is meaningless. And then anyone that logs in is at your same level, and then it ruins the whole MMO aspect. And if it's too long, no one wants to actually do the time investment, right? Like, if it took you fucking 6 years to get gear, no one would play, right? So there has to be a middle ground. I would say if they made BFA, instead of 8 to 12 weeks gearing, it took like 4 to 5, or maybe even 3 to 5. I don't know. I don't know the right number here. 3 to 4. I don't know the number, but if it took like 3 to 4 weeks, I think BFA would actually be a lot less hated on. Meaning, so I guess the whole point of this whole spiel is that BFA isn't a bad expansion. The gearing just sucks, right? And if you rate expansions based on gearing, then the expansion is bad. Or if you rate expansions based on the PvP experience once you're full geared, the expansion is not that bad. It's not perfect either. It's could be way better, but it's not the worst. People don't hate on the gameplay as much as they hate on the gearing, the alts, the essences, the traits, the corruptions, right? I hope that makes sense. I think a lot of people get confused, right? They get real confused when they're talking about what they like, what they don't like, if something's good, if something's bad. Yeah. What's good, homie? What up, Gigatron? Big true. Yep. As a PvP player, I mean, I can spend time farming BGs and for gear, but they made us farm fucking mythics. I agree. And that's part of this, right? That's part of gear. Like, there needs to be vendors, corruptions need to not exist, and essences need to not exist. And then we need to plus core abilities like deep freeze. And then full gear takes 3 to 4 weeks max. Alright. So if Shadowlands did this, we got gear, we removed corruptions, removed essences, plus core abilities, full gear, and then, but we still had this, right? This is like the most important part. If Shadowlands had this, oh baby, you know what I'm saying? Oh baby. This is basically MOP. This is basically MOP, right? In MOP, there was gear from vendors, corruptions and essences didn't exist. There was just more abilities. Gear took, you could fully gear an alt character in a couple weeks. Alright. You could burst. This was MOP. This was MOP. Blizzard! 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 Are you in there? Blizzard. This is the recipe to a successful expansion. Please. How do you feel about covenants? Oh yeah, so remove covenants. You forgot about a good storyline? No one gives a shit about a good storyline, I feel like. Or at least PvP and people that actually... I guess some people care. I shouldn't say no one cares. Sure, make a good storyline. I don't know. I shouldn't say no one cares. There's probably people that play the game just for the storyline, and that's wrong of me to assume that no one would care about that. If you want to have a good storyline, sure. I just don't think that's what makes a good expansion. I think all of these things... Okay, cool. Let's call it how to make a good PvP expansion. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, what else would I actually want? Full gear from vendors. None of this extra bullshit. More abilities back. Core abilities back. Full gear and being able to burst. If all of this is in the game, am I upset in any case? What could make the game shitty? If all of this was in the game, what makes the game shitty? Nothing. This makes a good game. There's nothing, dude. Class imbalance? Yeah, true. So, like, there has to be, like, maybe one little asterisk we could add. Every class should feel OP. This is kind of how MOP was. So decent class balance. But that's, to be fair, it's really difficult to get perfect class balance. It'll never happen. It'll never happen to where there's perfect class balance. Because it's just how WoW works. There's going to be seasons where something's good. There's going to be seasons where something's okay. There's going to be seasons where something's shit. It's just kind of how it works. But if we could get some decent class balance, like even in MOP, the thing that was nice about MOP is every class felt OP, right? Was it actually OP? Well, every class is fucking good in MOP. So you could one-shot as like anything, which... Does that make, like, every class should feel OP. even if it's not necessarily OP. Every class should have this thing where it's like, I have this in my back pocket. Like, think like Enhance and Mop had their fucking zap. You know what I'm saying? Like every class, I'm not gonna go through every class, I guess, but every class felt so OP that you could just one shot. If you really want to be competitive, then you need to remove RNG aspects like crits. See, I don't necessarily think all RNG needs to be removed. So we're already fucked. Covenants aren't going anywhere. Well, we're not completely fucked. Like, okay, say all of this, say Covenants did exist, but they got full gear in 3 to 4 weeks. They got burst. Every class felt OP, and you sold vendors and gear vendors and stuff like this, and they had everything except you also had the farm Covenants. The game would still be fine. It's not like if one thing was gone, you'd be fucked. I would argue the most important thing in all of this is this. Like, if burst doesn't exist, well, maybe every class should feel OP is overarchingly the most important thing. But this is really important, right? Like, if this doesn't exist, I would quit the game. And I have. I quit the game when that didn't exist. And that was WoD. I quit the game in WoD when this didn't exist. I literally was like, fuck it, dude, I'm out. Fuck it, dude, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally wouldn't play. This is so important. So important for the game, I think. To me, this is important, but if to me, if full gear takes 8 weeks, I won't quit. I'll just play for 8 weeks. I don't care that much. I really don't care if it takes 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. Because I just don't care. I'll get it anyway. I play the game every day. I don't care that much. But this, if this isn't in the game, I will literally quit. Right? There's a difference. Right? Covenants not being in the game, I'll still play. Essences not being in the game, I'll still play. Corruptions, I'll still play. Core abilities, I'll probably still play. Gear, no vendors, I'll probably still play. Gear taking, 10 weeks, I'll probably still play. They remove this, I'm out. I'm out. This is like no negotiation here, man. No negotiation here. So I hope that clears up. I hope that clears up why I defend BFA a little bit more. I hope that clears up what I think about Shadowlands in general.